So Candace Owens is vindicated over her claims that Charlie Kirk planned to split with Israel.
We get confirmations from Turning Point USA.
We are living in the world that James Burnham warned us about, that when you have the volume and velocity of information, that there is going to be warfare at the level of what can anybody believe. When you have manufactured consent, meaning people really can control the narrative, there's only so many ways to convey something to the general public. Editors of newspapers, they get together, politicians get together, they essentially collude and they tell us this is the world. And it allowed us to move forward reasonably well, certainly here in the West. Because of that, the average person just marches forward with their day, feels like they understand everything. And given that that's gone away, I don't think we yet understand the ramifications of a world that simply cannot come to a consensus. Show the clip and then I'll walk people through like the beats.
Charlie, and I never said he was going to, decided one day to become Catholic, it would have financial implications. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor.
Here's the whole text chain. Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Then the person replies to him, ugh. And then Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this. He then continues, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And then the other person responds, please don't invite Candace. That might feel good short-term, but it's not good long-term, in my opinion. Okay, so obviously a very brief excerpt. She had gone to her audience and had said, hey, I have these texts. She originally did not show them. And actually, she may have shown them straight away, but nobody believed that they were real. Then lo and behold, let's play the next clip. The partner of Charlie Kirk comes on and says, yeah, that actually is real.
So this is Andrew Calvet authenticating the text from Candace Owens.
To address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there.
There are other clips that I've seen on him talking about this. And when he says that he's excited that these have gotten out there, he said, look, we have been accused of not trying to find out what actually happened to Charlie. In reality, we've been cooperating with the investigation and we didn't want to spoil anything. But now that it's out and I'm not the one that put it out, great, let's
talk about it.
So that obviously, to your point earlier, brought a lot of credibility to Candace because people were dragging her on Twitter saying that she's just completely lost the plot from what she's doing with the Brigitte Macron stuff to this. She just like never found a conspiracy that she wouldn't endorse. And so for her to be the one that clearly in the world, people are like, oh, you've got something hot, you want to get it out. People are going to Candace. Now, I won't lie. She's starting to feel like Alex Jones feels to me. They do get like a lot of early stuff from people. People really do go, okay, when I've got that thing that's like too hot to handle, nobody's going to believe it, I'm going to go to one of those two people. But there is something, it does something to your reputation when you're always early on breaking conspiracy theories. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. If she gets vindicated on the Macron stuff, it's game over. She'll be goated. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. She is the commentary version of Michael Saylor. And it's like, if her bets all pay off, she is going to have all the credibility in the known universe. However, this is a very high-risk strategy. So this lent a lot of credibility for him to come out and say, okay, that's real. So Charlie really did say that. And I would say that is pretty bombshelly. I will be very curious to see how this plays out because it is true that humans in general, that governments specifically, they will for sure manipulate anybody in any way that they can. I don't think that's in any way, shape, or form unique to Israel, but Israel is in such a precarious PR position. If it ends up coming out that this is what they did.
So as we're connecting those threads, Candace Owens has text that there was some dissent in Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA camp. The president came and confirmed that Here is a video of her expressly saying that Charlie was fearing for his life days, weeks before he was actually murdered.
3 people told me off record. 2 people who have this in a written communication from Charlie. One who is a Turning Point USA donor, and I would say very much one of the white knights in this. The very day before Charlie Kirk died, he expressed that he thought he was going to be killed. He told these people, I think they're going to kill me. Okay? He did not express that to me. So I am telling you this based off the testimony of 3 people. And I am saying this because I hope that these people who I think are good will be inspired to come forward with that.
So what she's intimating here is that I have been given even more information than I can tell you, that I have specifics. There are 3 people that have confirmed these specifics. It's my understanding, she said, one of them did so in writing. And I am saying, I'm not going to betray that. They told me off the record. And as a good, I need a new word for what.
You can't call it journalism.
That doesn't feel good. But it is something.
Conspiracyism.
It's a new era of something. She really is able to show people behind the scenes stuff that's turning out some of it to be valid. And so what I want to see is basically like, will the people actually come out? Because she's trying to use the like, listen, I'm not going to rat you out. So if you want to stay invisible, go for it. But you know who you are. I know who you are. I want you to do the right thing. I think you're a good person, right? So she's trying to pressure them to come out and say the stuff. But somebody really did kill Charlie. So I can understand why people would be tense. If they think they know who did it and they think it's like government, then they're really going to be slow to be like, yeah, let me say more things.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real, okay? I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to live.
If this all comes back and we're like, yo, Kanye was early, bro. He was early.
Kanye did it again. Kanye's undefeated, yo.
The wildest thing ever.
And he would be intolerable. We wouldn't be able to tell him anything.
Will
ever.
be, as in future? In the future? Ooh.
He's gonna have the shade glasses on. He ain't gonna bring them back.
Leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people?
She has a point there. It's like the process is the punishment. Like, there are people that have enough money that they can, whatever, it's cost a couple million to go in and fight this for the next 2 or 3 years, whatever, doesn't matter.
And just bankrupt the other person.
Yeah, and they'll just literally make your life a nightmare. Do I fight this all the way knowing that I could still lose either legally or in the court of public opinion and now be the millions of dollars in debt and having lost? It's wild. And so people coming after someone like her, presumably, listen, we don't know who it is. So this could all be made up in her head, but that certainly is a real strategy. And many a very wealthy person, organization, government have run that kind of strategy before.
Thing happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. And I highly recommend every single person that is out there, that has a platform and is going through things and is scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust. And I mean, I've ranged it. I sent it to journalists.
Someone somewhere is like 8 people. I got to take it out of people. Okay, got it.
To Andrew Tate. They won't know where it's coming from.
A year from now, people can play this clip. I'm telling you that when you have the amount of information getting out into the world that we have now, something is going to break. I don't know precisely what that's going to be, but things are going to get wild. Humans need a shared narrative in order to march forward together in lockstep. The need for a shared narrative is part of how we move forward well. And if we don't get a shared narrative, we will not be able to move forward well. And the bad news is I do in the piece state very explicitly what I think the shared narrative for America needs to be. I even use the word we need to indoctrinate our children, and I'll let people decide for themselves whether they think what I'm suggesting we all collectively decide we're going to indoctrinate kids with is good or bad. But I don't see another way. Like we really do. It can't be forced from the top down. It's got to rise up from the bottom up. Yeah. And admittedly, when I was writing the things that I was writing, it's like I end the paragraph going, look, I know how cheesy that sounds, but it's like, if we don't do that, we're going to be in trouble. And I have almost no faith that as a collective, we'll be able to march forward with a shared narrative. I think shared narratives are born out of pain. And I think a country has to go through, I mean, this is China's rise. China first had to go through a century of humiliation, their words. And with that, they were able to galvanize people with a shared narrative. And now that they have a shared narrative and things are going well, it's like you can't stop them.
Yeah.
So we're wildly prosperous, but because we're declining, even though we're still ahead of basically everybody on planet Earth, that decline feels some kind of way. And we absolutely do not have a shared narrative.